received many letters over the course of the last few days from people that I was at school with. This one I think is particularly relevant. I was a Jewish pupil at Dulwich College at the same time, and I remember him very well. While there was plenty of macho, tongue-in-cheek schoolboy banter, it was humour. And yes, sometimes it was offensive, rather like most of the BBC's output, but never with malice. I never heard him racially abuse anyone. If he had, he would have been reported and punished. He wasn't. The news stories are without evidence except for belatedly politically dubious recollections from nearly half a century ago. Back in the 1970s, the culture was very different. Perhaps Dame New should reflect on that. Especially at Dulwich. Lots of boys said things they'd regret today, or just laugh at. Whilst Nigel stood out, he was neither aggressive nor a racist. If I can help in any way, let me know. And I've had plenty of those messages over the course of the last few days, and I'm sick to death of the double standards and hypocrisy, above all, of your organisation. And what happened on the Today programme this morning was a complete bloody disgrace. Next, Sam Coates from Sky News. No, I'm done with you, thank you.
You said they were lying, and it sounds like
Sam Coates from Sky. I'm really, until you apologise for all of your output, your appalling output, at the same time that I'm accused of saying these things which I deny, I'm not speaking to you. All right? Sam Coates, Sky News.
Nigel Farage.
Yes.
£9 million is a whopping donation, and if it was given to another party, you'd expect quite a lot of transparency around it. So,
Sorry.
Can you tell us how often do you speak to Christopher Harbour? What do you talk about? What do you think he wants from a reformed UK government? And if he loves Britain so much, why does he spend so long in Thailand?
Because that's where he's been based for some of his business activities for many, many years. As you know, Sam, because you're better researched than the BBC on some things, he has a global business. He's got business interests in all the continents of the world. His natural home is here. His donation is nothing out of the blue. It's nothing new. I mean, after all, he gave a significant amount of money. He was a dedicated Brexiteer. He gave a significant amount of money to the Brexit Party at the time, starting off with the European elections in 2019. And, you know, I think what he wants to do, really, is to try and help us get onto a level playing field with the trade union-funded Labour Party and a Conservative Party, where there seems to be a remarkable correlation, I can't think why, between donations and membership of the House of Lords. So I think that what Mr. Harford is trying to do is get us onto a level playing field. Yes, it is a very big donation, but I mean, bear in mind, you know, that the Labour Party, literally on the eve of the election in 24, took £4 million from a tax haven-based hedge fund with shares in oil and the arms industry. So perhaps it's not quite as unusual as you think. And does he want, hang on, does he want anything from me? No. Absolutely nothing in return at all. He just happens to think that we've not made the most of Brexit, that we're not getting into the 21st century technologies, and for all the talk about data centres, for all the talk about AI, for all the talk, well, at least from us at least, not the others, about crypto, you know, we cannot do this without the most massive re-evaluation of what is currently a catastrophic energy policy. Does he want anything in return for his money? I promise you, absolutely nothing. Do I speak to him regularly? Maybe once a month, maybe once every 6 weeks, but certainly not more than that. And have I promised him anything? Hand on heart, I have not promised him a single thing in return for his donation. Thank you. Can we go on to Catherine Foster at GB News?
Thank you, Catherine Forster, GB News.
Microphones everywhere.
Try that again. Catherine Forster, GB News.
Yeah.
You've accused the government of committing electoral fraud, but they say that they're just trying to devolve powers back to local communities.
Oh, yes.
Don't they have a point? And also, the inquiry onto the Dawn Sturgis murder has found that Putin is morally responsible. Is that your view too? Because at the time that the Skripals were still in hospital, didn't you say that the then government had jumped the gun in blaming Russia? Thank you.
I didn't know what had happened. There was a poisoning. Do I think Putin's a monster? I think he proves that with every single week that goes by. I think, my friend Donald Trump genuinely thought he could somehow get the Ukrainians, the Russian leaders together and forge some kind of sensible compromise to end the sort of scale of killing we've not seen on a battlefield since probably World War I, or maybe Stalingrad, going on in Europe. And Putin proves with every week that goes by that he's not rational, that he doesn't want a just settlement, and that frankly he is an incredibly dangerous man. So of that there is absolutely no doubt. And by the way, this makes me laugh with this mob that we pay money to every year, and others. I'm pro-Putin because I once said in 2013 I admired him as a leader but disliked him as a human being and wouldn't live in the Soviet Union. Shortly after, and I'm a Russian asset apparently according to Starmer for doing that. A year after that, the Queen met him. Whether she was a Russian asset, I'm not entirely sure. So that's that. In terms of devolution, well, the definition of devolution, of course, is passing power from central government down so that decision-making is nearer the people. Tendring District Council, which has 2 parliamentary constituencies in it, is geographically right out on the eastern front of Essex. It's quite tough to get to by road and by rail, but it does have an identifiable district council, one that arguably, indeed Peter Harris was leader of it a couple of years ago, one that arguably has been better led than many councils in the country, that is not saddled with a great degree of debt, and they will be giving all their powers away and up to a higher amorphous unitary, probably based in Colchester, but we don't know, Peter, where it's going to be based or what it's going to be, and the county of Essex will be divided up into 3, 4 or 5 separate unitaries. So I just don't buy this. And very interestingly, Bob Russell, who was the Lib Dem Member of Parliament for Colchester for many years, he and I have been at one on this, and it's nice to agree with him occasionally on something. And he says, well, back in 1973 was the last major government reorganisation, but nobody cancelled elections of any kind. They actually held elections to see what the electorate thought of what the proposed changes were. And that argument now seems to be out of the window. So I just don't buy devolution in every sense, because district councils are handing powers up to unitaries. And I think the upshot of this will be that the smaller rural communities around our country will find themselves increasingly governed by decisions made by cities or major towns and big population centres. And I think, given, frankly, the assault that this government has launched on our rural communities, this will go down very, very badly indeed. Harry Horton, ITV News.
I've spoken to another from Dulwich
Good for
College.
you. Let's move on to the time,
Stefan
shall we?
Baranok. He says he can remember you
Very good.
making hissing noises
Very
towards
good.
Peter Atedja.
Harry, you are
Jewish
wasting your
people.
time. Bernard Manning. Bernard Manning. Bernard Manning. Do you want to hear some of the Bernard Manning jokes on ITV? I'm sure they are. I'm sure they are. Very good. Very good. Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure. I'm sure. Shall I reread this letter to you? Shall I reread this letter to you? There was plenty of macho, tongue-in-cheek schoolboy banter when I was there with Farage. I was a Jewish pupil. It was humour, sometimes offensive, but never with malice. And I'm just frankly, Harry, as I say, you were the channel of Bernard Manning. He occasionally appeared on the Beeb. Your channel, at the same time that I'm accused of saying this, which I deny in any malicious or nasty way,